3-1 bowling.
3 नहीं अभी 15. Brrr.
We're live. Hello everyone, welcome to CricPunts with Fasi, and joining me today is again my brother Najib for the final test match between India and Australia for the Border Gavaskar Trophy, day 1. And what a day it was. It was an absorbing day of cricket. So what did you make out of it?
I think 1-1 draw. It's a draw. If first day was a test match, it would be a draw. It's a nice draw. If we had the match by its balls when we dropped that catch of Labuschagne at 34 or whatever, it was a straightforward catch. But I think regardless of all that, first thing we have to not forget is this is an India A bowling attack.
Yeah.
All right. For a bowling attack like this against a batting order like that, top effort, great effort. I mean, 9 out of 10, just for the quality. I mean, they are not the first choice of players; it's the bench players that are playing. Just for that fact alone, it's 9 out of 10. But otherwise, you can nitpick.
Yeah. So let's start with 11. So were you surprised of Washington Sundar making a debut? Because we didn't expect that. And
yes,
and what's your feeling about it?
Out of syllabus, basically.
Exactly.
So, and I think what they were doing were like, you know what, we don't have the balls to go with 4 bowlers. Let's be honest, there are not a top rung bowlers, all right. So they were like, you know what, let's go with 5. Now who will be a 5th bowler? Okay, let's play Kuldeep Yadav. But if you play Kuldeep Yadav, what about the tail? So
yeah, that's a too long tail.
I guess they had no other option but to go with Sundar, and I think it makes sense. Not just because he took Steve Smith's wicket, but even if he had bowled badly today, I mean that explanation is a fair enough explanation to me.
Yeah, and just to put it in perspective for everyone out there, so how inexperienced our attack is really. So between the Australian bowling attack, the 4 bowlers Australia has right now, they share wickets of 1,013 wickets between them. Okay. And the bowling attack we have right now, amongst them, they share 13 wickets.
And that is so cute.
And two of them are for Rohit Sharma. So basically, they share 11 wickets between them. And considering the fact that 2 of them were making debut, it was literally a debut for Shardul Thakur as well, because even though it's his second match, he just bowled 10 balls in the first match. So it was basically debut for everyone in the bowling attack.
Yes.
Except for Saini
Siraj.
and Siraj.
Siraj was the senior most bowler. Can you believe the sentence that we are saying right now?
Yeah.
And
I was very happy to see him putting an arm around the other bowlers and, calming them down whenever they were bowling on the leg side or they were just spraying the ball all over. He was just putting an arm around Natarajan and Shardul, and he was just calming them down, which is very good to see because they missed that. You could clearly see that they missed someone, a senior figure in the bowling attack.
Bumrah was doing that job back in 3 tests.
Yeah, so first point, when I saw the 11, I was actually very surprised to see Washington Sundar, as was everyone. And to be honest, in the morning, I was a little pissed that they didn't play Kuldeep. I thought they missed a trick. But then when I checked out the team in the whole, I started to understand your point that they really had no other option. The only way there'll be a good balance to the team is by playing Washington Sundar. If they play Kuldeep Yadav, then they'd have to remove one bowler and play in another batsman. Yeah, and considering that Saini got injured, no surprises there, another injury for India. So so since Saini got injured, I think it was for good that they played 5 bowlers, because had they played only 4 bowlers, which is 3 quicks, then Saini out of the attack, 2 bowlers, then probably the score would have been somewhere around 350 by now.
Yeah. What's with Saini now? Will he come back or what's the matter?
We don't know. So the latest BCCI update is that he's been taken for scans for a groin niggle.
Fantastic.
So India really missed him today because it was his kind of wicket. pace,
Yes.
bouncy. He's the fastest of the Indian bowlers. He balls somewhere around
Yes.
140, 145, and his natural length is short pitch ball, which would have been good on this pitch, but
Classic Australian length. Yeah.
exactly. But okay, so just let's take it session by session. India, well, they lost the toss, and it's a
Hmm.
very flat pitch, but India couldn't have asked for a better start. They were
Yes.
17 for 2, right? It was a beauty of a ball by Siraj first up, and Thakur getting a wicket on the first ball. And then, even though they stitched a partnership, Steve Smith and Labuschagne,
Hmm.
somewhere around 70 or 80, I don't remember exactly, they were 3 down. So they got the big wicket of
Hmm.
Smith, even though I thought it was a lucky wicket because there was a ball
Yes.
on the leg stump. They got the wicket luckily, but nevertheless, you get Steve Smith out, more than enough. So, yeah, but I think had India held on to their chances, Labuschagne was dropped on 37, which was a very easy catch to
Yeah.
Rahane.
Straightforward. Yes.
They would have been 90 for 4 down with a lot of pressure on them. And I
Hmm.
think the scorecard would have been a lot different because they would not have played that aggressively like how they played today in
Yes.
the middle overs, right? Because they had a set
Now
batsman.
we
Yeah.
should make a podcast of what if the drop chances were held kind of podcast where we can go back and analyze like, yeah, this easy catch was it, if this was held in the last day of Sydney Test matches draw, what would have been the case, you know? So
Yeah.
there will
Yeah.
be a lots of
I think,
ifs and buts. So I think it's there are a fair amount of chances that they have given us, a fair amount of chances we have given them.
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Who has given more chances to whom? I think it's even Stevens. Maybe India might have given
I,
slightly more
I,
chances.
I thought I heard in the commentary that Australia dropped more catches, but I'm not sure if they were talking about this series or the whole tour, including the white
Hmm.
ball series. So I'm not really sure. I have to look it up. But yeah, so Manas Labuschagne was dropped 5 times in Test match series.
In this series.
Yes.
Yes.
And he has scored consistently, even though he didn't punish us so far. Today, he made sure that
Hmm.
he punished us. He was on 36, especially after that drop catch. So, for the first 20 runs, 20, 30 runs, he took 78, 70, 80 balls.
Hmm.
Okay, so rest of the 70, 80 runs after the catch was dropped, he scored literally a run a ball, right? He started scoring more freely. Him and Wade started putting more pressure, and yeah, you could see the inexperience in the bowling lineup once the Kookaburra ball stopped moving. Once the
Yeah.
pitch has eased up, you could see the inexperience coming up, and they utilized it. But I think Australia lost a good opportunity to like really run away with the game.
Yeah.
They,
I mean, don't you think we should credit India for that? Like, kind
yeah,
of.
exactly. So because I mean, the way India have like, I mean, throughout the series, they've just not given up. Right when we thought that Wade and Labuschagne were just, they were scoring at almost
Hmm.
5 runs and over. You don't see that often
Yeah.
in the Test cricket. So we thought, well, this is going to be a long day. They just came back, kept bowling there, especially Natarajan, because he
Hmm.
bowled the hard length. He bowled really well. So even though both the balls he got the wickets for were not really a
Garbage
wicket
balls.
taking
Let's be
ball.
honest.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess he deserved it because he put
I
in the hard yards.
did he like sometimes he's going for short stuff and he's not having the pace to go for the short stuff, right? And the
Yeah,
height
yeah,
rather. I
yeah,
think he
yeah,
should stick
and
to he's a left-hander bowling to a right-hander. He should be keeping it up closer to the
yeah.
batsman,
Well,
try to move and see where it goes. I
yeah.
didn't
I
like
mean,
his.
he did that. He did that. It's just that he didn't do it consistently enough. But I
Hmm,
guess you can give
first test
him,
match.
yeah,
A
first test
pass.
match. Yeah, you can give him a pass because it's his first test match. And the same thing goes to Shardul Thakur because
Hmm,
in his second or third spell at the end of the day, he bowled some brilliant balls,
hmm,
brilliant
hmm,
balls.
hmm,
But he was just not bowling it consistently enough because
hmm.
it was as if Umesh Yadav was bowling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
3, 4 good balls and then one ball to easily let off the batsman for a single or a boundary ball every over.
Hmm.
But considering the inexperience we have and except for Siraj, I don't think anyone is. Even though Siraj is also inexperienced, but they bowled well.
Siraj Siraj was reasonably in control today.
Yeah, 275 for 5 at the end of the day. I think
I
it's
would
very, I
I
think it's
would
very
say
even
but
with
I would say
just
Australia Australia has a two ahead of India.
Yeah, Australia have their noses just ahead of India. They
Mm,
just have the
mm.
slight edge, but I think India can still wrap them up
Under
uh,
350,
under
hopefully.
350. That will be a very good effort. They put down a chance late in the evening as well. Shardul Thakur put down a chance of Chris Green.
Mm,
I'm sorry, Cameron Green. That was catchable, even though it's very hard to catch in your follow-up. But I
mm.
think that was catchable and should have been taken. But yeah, tomorrow morning, first up, India should take two early
First,
wickets.
first hour will be very crucial tomorrow morning.
Yeah, because the ball is still fairly new. It's just
Yeah.
it's not even 9 overs old. It's some 6 overs old.
Mm,
And even after they got the wicket of Labuschagne,
mm.
I thought they bowled extremely well for a period of time till the new ball came. And I think by the time the new ball came, the
We were
inexperience
done and
and
dusted, man.
they were tired. They were
They
tired.
were
The speeds
tired.
were down,
Yeah.
125, 130
I
speeds,
mean,
and they just
already the speeds are not as if they are Shoaib Akhtars. They're already in their 135s, even fresh
yeah,
up.
they were high. They were between 135 to 140.
Yeah.
One odd ball of 140 plus. But by the time the end of day came, the last 1 hour, the 10 overs,
Mm,
they just sprayed the new ball all around and they just let
yeah.
go of the advantage a little bit. I think Australia got away with, especially Natarajan, because he
Yeah.
was just bowling all over the place. But I guess I,
Like if
I
you
would
had to
say,
give a score objectively, you will give it 7. But considering the team and the experience and all that,
yeah,
and then considering the fact that it's an A team, I think 9 is a fair enough score out of 10.
I would
And
say 8.5,
yeah.
8.5,
Mm.
8.5. Had India held on to their chances, then it would have
Oh,
been,
that would have been game over. I mean, first
yeah,
day, they would have been 7 down at least,
yeah,
6, 7 down at least.
easily, easily.
Mm.
So, yeah, so let's talk about Australia for a bit.
Mm.
So, this is the 16th batting partner from 2016 for David Warner. They
Yeah,
have,
forced, I guess. Yeah,
yeah,
this time it's
yeah,
forced.
even
Yeah.
though this is forced, I think they're heavily dependent on the top three.
Mm.
Labuschagne, Smith, and Warner.
Warner.
Especially,
I want.
especially when Smith and Warner are not playing. Even though Labuschagne scored 100 today, a magnificent 100, I don't think Australia are in a commanding position yet.
No, no, they're
Yeah,
not. They're just a two
yeah.
ahead, as I said.
So they're heavily dependent on Steve Smith and David Warner, and I think
Yeah.
teams are starting to recognize that. Don't you think? I mean, if you see the Ashes, the only difference between England and Australia was Steve Smith.
Steve Smith. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
do you think
it
it's
is
a
it is a
concern?
better team now for. I mean, Warner is just 2 matches old. I think he's not played red ball for a long time. I think we can give him a break. And obviously they would have continued with Pokaski, who got injured again. And I don't know how much this frequent change of partners affects an opener. I mean, Warner is the kind of guy. I mean, you look. Warner is a different Warner when he's playing with Finch in the white ball, right? Obviously, it's white ball;
Yeah,
it's a different ball.
yeah,
But mentally, I'm sure there will be a difference. But unfortunately, it's a forced change. I think the one of the biggest guys who's pending runs for a long time is Matthew Wade. I think it's about time he convert a 50 and convert it into 100.
yeah,
He's getting
yeah. Another
he's
start thrown away today.
yeah, yeah, another star. I'd say it was a nothing shot, like garbage ball. I mean,
Yeah,
that's so unlike Australian the way he got out, and he should have put that away. So Matthew Wade, it's long pending. That guy. I mean, if you pick up top three, they'll be in massive trouble. The top three
yeah,
quick wickets. If it was 17 for three, that would have been tough.
yeah. So this constant collapse of batting, don't you think it's a concern?
Mm.
Because that happened in I'm sorry, England as well. They were collapsing. The only thing holding the team together was Steve Smith, and at the end of the series, Labuschagne. But
I don't
I
think
think it's a
that
matter
is.
of concern for them.
It is. They've been playing on some tough pitches. I mean, I would like to look at their batting on a flat pitch. Like for example, how did they play against Pakistan last year? Uh, the and they don't have any other options apart from these guys. I mean, who are you going to try, right? So they'll stick to it. And if I was the coach, I will stick to that particular
Yeah,
team.
they'd
In fact,
have to stick to it, but
huh,
I think that is something they'll speak about it, right?
yeah.
Because this is happening way too constantly for them. The batting
Hmm.
collapses, yeah, which is keeping the opposition in the team. Because one thing
I
they
think they
did,
one more batsman should take off the pressure of Smith and Labuschagne. It's always this partnership has become like
yeah,
overburdened. That they take the chunk of responsibility of building innings and scoring runs. I think one more batsman should step up, and then they would be fine.
yeah, yeah. And let's talk about Labuschagne for a minute. I
Hmm.
mean, yes, he got lucky. A few chances
Hey,
were dropped,
Lara
but
got lucky when he scored 400, bro. Come on.
yeah, but
Yeah.
but I think that was an amazing innings, don't you think? I mean, he was in full control of the short balls. I mean, some magnificent shots all over the ground. He's not one player who'll just score on the one side of the ground. He's scoring all over the ground.
And and to be honest, like this century was long time coming. I mean, it was coming from 3 matches. He has been missing out. He scored a 90 here, a 90 over there.
Yeah,
This had to happen. I mean, if people were playing Dream 11, they would have seen it. They would
yeah,
have consistently stuck to Labuschagne as a captain, and it
yeah,
paid off today. He should have got the century like 2 matches ago. And to be fair, he kind of is playing a little better than Steve Smith in this tournament. Steve Smith, I won't say Steve Smith is not playing bad, but he's just getting out for some weird balls. You don't expect you generally expect Steve Smith to get out on a jaff. It's like great ball, but
well,
he's flick just soft dismissals, just you know f- weird slip edges to slip and so on. I don't know what is
well,
happening
I,
there,
I
but
I-
yeah,
I'd credit India for that, because that was
yeah.
good planning. In the first two matches, they cut down his scoring runs and they
Mm,
strangled him down leg. In the Sydney match, yes, he came well prepared and he started scoring more freely. But today was a gift. Today was a
mm,
gift. It was a
yeah,
nothing ball on the
yeah.
pads, and 9 out of 10 times he'd just
He
flick
would
it
have,
for four. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, today was
Now,
unlucky.
tell me something before we end this. Just tell me something. We have this weird highlights on Cricket Australia YouTube, right? But those are not the highlights of a test match. Those are not the
Yeah,
highlights of a day of a test match. So for you, what
yeah.
was the highlight today? Was there a spell? Was there a session of play where the batting was like great? What do you think? What do you think was the highlight? Couple of highlights of today's play.
For me, for me, the first 1 hour, that was
Mm,
that was very nice to see, because something was happening off the pitch. There was some swing for Shardul Thakur, and the way Indians bowled, very disciplined. Considering it's a
mm,
very new attack. They
mm,
started off very well. Even with Smith and Labuschagne, there was just
mm,
few odd balls, few odd bad balls. But besides that, I think especially Natarajan really impressed me. Siraj, well, he's
mm,
been bowling well. Natarajan and Shardul had some excellent balls, because he was swinging the ball even late in the evening. Even
yeah.
when the ball was like 70, 80 overs old, he was still swinging the ball. He had some swing,
Mm.
but it's just that he didn't
He
ball with
didn't. He
much
was not. He
control.
didn't. Yeah. He didn't
Yeah,
consistently
yeah,
pitch
but I
on
think
one line like there.
I think that was really interesting. And another thing is, I really enjoyed was Labuschagne, the way Labuschagne played, because as I said in the beginning, for the first
Mm.
20 runs, he took some 70, 80 balls. He took the time. That's something I really like about him, is that he's patient. He'll
Who
see
was
out the,
troubling? Who was troubling him the most? Like who did he negate very nicely? Did you enjoy him negating nicely? For example, like I really enjoyed the way Smith kind of played Ashwin in the third test. Like
hmm,
those kind of things. What was your highlight of Labuschagne's batting? What was the turning point of Labuschagne's innings today? Who did he had
well,
to? What did he had to overcome to get that century,
you know,
which you enjoyed the most?
yeah, so I think he recognized that since India is very inexperienced in the bowling lineup, once
Mm,
the ball gets soft and the pitch gets easier to bat, it'll be the runs will be on offer. So I think he was
mm,
just patient against everyone.
mm.
Even
You're just
Shardul Thakur.
letting the new ball pass. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
letting the new ball pass, and India were bowling some decent spells. So he
Mm,
was just respecting the good balls. He was just letting go. He was leaving outside off very well.
mm,
So
mm,
once the catch was dropped, and he realized that the ball had stopped moving, and the pitch has flattened out. Really started to cash in. I mean, he was very aggressive, especially against the short ball. He was very much in control, because in the first two matches he was not really in control of the short ball. He was playing it in the air, but in this test match he was making sure that he rolls the wrist for the short ball, keeping it along the ground. So I think he really cashed in, and I really liked that, because that is what test cricket is all about. You see out the initial period, blunt the new ball attack, and once the ballers are tired, just cash in. That is exactly what Pujara does, and I really liked the way he played. So those two things are my highlights for the day.
Lovely. So we can look forward to tomorrow's day, and especially the first hour of the day. That will be very crucial. That 1 hour will decide which way the day will go in that sense, right? And there's nothing to relax for India. There's nothing to relax about for Australia. It's even Stevens. Maybe
Yes.
Australia's a little ahead. So yeah, I mean, new ball is taken. Maybe Cameron Green will see it off and then just go bang, bang, bang. I mean,
So this
if they
partnership
get
is very crucial.
if they get them wrapped up in the next 100 runs, I think it's game on for India. It'll be a good test match.
And hopefully dig in long after that.
Right,
when they're batting.
right. Yeah,
Right.
that's
So
true.
that's it for today. So we'll see you tomorrow again for another absorbing day. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Bye.